Arash, where are you? You sound like you're at a get together.
No, I'm doing a little work down here in a food court, so I just really.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Nope, no taco time.
Taco time? Oh man!
No taco time here.
Oh, do you know that taco
First
time?
thing I looked for, the moment I said food court, I looked around. I'm like, no taco time here.
Now it's going to be hard to go home today without going to pick up a burrito of some sort, because on game days they have $8.99 classic two classic beef burritos.
Really?
Rider game day, taco time. Oh, in Regina, just the Regina ones. Okay. Hey, buddy.
Yes,
I want to start with you on. In hour one, we talked about this. Pat McAfee.
Now?
Listen, can we play the Pat McAfee clip? So people that were listening in hour one, let's play the Pat McAfee clip getting hyped on flag football and talking about Canada. Here it is from yesterday.
Respect that because there are different rules. Yep. With that being said, we can't be losing to Canada. Okay?
Oh, boy.
You guys can't be.
Canada doesn't even play football.
It's a strong squad.
It is not.
The Canada one is.
It is not. That is the problem that I'm having here. Now, I learned this from Football Canada's official senior men's, senior masculine. Obviously, you guys speak French in there because it is Canada. 25-21. They go on to play Japan, I think, in the next couple of days, Super Duper International Bowl. It's flag football here.
It's embarrassing.
Can't happen.
Can't.
Joke.
Who's playing? Who was on the team? Who's responsible?
Yeah, who was on our team?
We haven't been able to get all the details. I just saw that this was posted. I don't know if Doucette was playing in that one.
Roster.
He is on the website whenever we checked it, who was playing. He is on the roster. And maybe Canada just has a team. Or maybe also we should think about Lamar Jackson playing on his team.
Bingo.
Kyler Murray playing on his team.
Sure.
You know,
even let our college guys play on this team. Like, if you want to make it all.
Where does he think they came from? The Sandlot? Like, what did they think? They walked down Pennsylvania Avenue and said, "You're pretty good. Come play."
Let me just put that in instant Arash GPT, not Chat GPT. I know nothing of which I speak, but I will continue to speak it anyway. Does that just sum up what we just watched and listened to there?
Yeah.
We don't know who's playing. We don't know anybody who is on the field, but we can't be losing. Yeah. Masculine. Yeah, must be Spanish French.
I get it. I totally get it because I don't know. You know this really well, Arash, and you would too, Sharky. But if living down there, you get it. Some of my best friends. I'll never. Hey, there's a lot of jerk stores. There's a lot of jerk stores here though too. If you timed us by 10, oh, Bubba. But I just
let me stop you real quick.
They have no clue on what we're doing up here like we do about them.
Correct. And the arrogance. The American arrogance. Guess what happened on the weekend? It's not just that Canada beat them. That was the first loss the USA has had in flag football in 8 years. And when the coach of our national team was just on the field during warm-ups chatting with his brethren from south of the border, they actually asked him, so have you ever coached anywhere before? Like, they didn't even have the respect for Canada to do a Google search on Paul Lapolis. That's how arrogant they were. And then, bam, get their butts kicked.
I would have loved if Paul would have said, no, it's the first time I've just put this together. Hope this works out.
I'm actually on
had a lot of fun with the guys and trying this coaching thing.
I'm actually on a work release program. Just really play with them. See, I don't call it air.
I'm the three-time defending fantasy football champion. Go ahead.
That would be good. I don't call it arrogance. I just call it cluelessness. They're not that interested. Why would they be? In a lot of respects, I'd be like, they don't grow up learning about anything besides their area, right? Where we kind of learn
the rest
about
of their country.
We kind of learn about everything. Yeah. Which, right or wrong, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot of useless stuff when I look back at my schooling too. So we can debate on this when you come and we have beers on August 27th. But
big night.
Canada went 4-0. They beat Japan twice. They beat Australia and they beat the Americans. Only 6 teams are getting into the big dance when it comes Olympic time. This was a great great start for Paul Lapalisse and Lipinski.
And that's a good way of framing it, Barney. It's a start. It's a really good start. So here we are, late June. That's the first stop on tour. The next competition are the Continentals in Panama in September. That's going to be another big one. But I went back last night. I watched the USA game. And you know what they did? What Canada did, they started running some CFL schemes. They ran some motion that nobody really uses in flag. And the schemes that Lapo was using really attacked his own defense well. And look, Michael O'Connor's a pro quarterback. He went to Penn State, transferred to UBC, played in the CFL for a little bit. And it's hard to see in the video, but here's what's really cool, is that as Canada's winning, leading later in the game, more and more people from other fields started coming over being like, what's happening here? They're looking up at the scoreboard. They're like, what USA's losing? What is this waggle? What is this motion?
That's illegal.
It depends on the rules, though. Like when different flag rules, a lot of times when it's the NFL flag rules from the USA, you only can motion one person. So
Okay.
I don't know what I'm gonna go back and watch tonight. That's gonna be get storming here. And while I hammer the Elks tonight, I'm gonna flip back and forth to this video because it's home team live, and go and watch. But sorry, continue, Arash.
Well, I think a couple of takeaways. It's going to take a little while. Look, I don't think that other countries are going to go start watching CFL film. So I think what you saw here is that you can run a CFL offense and kind of catch some people off guard and start incorporating more and more in different things. And Barney, look, everything that you talked about is bang on. Okay, once you watch this game, the flag game played at a high level, everyone's saying, okay, just take your 10 best NFL guys and the 10 best CFL guys. DBs, wideouts. That's it. There's no linebackers in this mix. There's no pass rushers in this mix. There's no need for a running back in this mix. There's no need for a tight end in this mix. You want a pass rusher? Get a DB with long arms, because with a 10-man roster, if there's an injury, you got to make sure that DB can go back and play in the secondary. So this is a totally different vibe, and when you watch it, it becomes crystal clear for you.
Was that the first time you ever really watched that at a competitive level?
Yeah, at that kind of level with pros running around.
So you'll start to get it as it goes along. To your point, the smartest thing to do is to, again, this is just me. If it was a video game, I would pick a rusher that is obviously extremely fast, but you got to be really shifty. You got to be able to break down, right? And tall, because now you got to throw over that rusher, which that's where you see a lot of guys do the sidearm and all that, because like the Italians are a really tall bunch.
But also, and look, we just, and it's important, like, I say the Americans were arrogant. Like, we consider football to be such a North American sport. Canada was trailing Japan for a good chunk of that game. Japan's a really good team, and then Canada came back with a flurry. Like, this is a 26-yard field. This is a totally different dynamic than anything we've ever seen before. So I think that people are really going to take to this, and it's going to take them a while, because it's a combination of like video game and pinball all in one.
It goes to the point that it's not the same game. Just because it has the word football in it, so does soccer use the word football outside of North America, right?
Sure.
But they lay down and fake it instead of actually getting knocked out. So,
that game the other night. Can we get into that after this? Cool.
Okay. But it's a different game. I think it actually has the wrong name. Right? I think Pat McAfee's got hung up on, and lots of Americans and other people are getting hung up on, it's a football game. It's not the same as a football game. No.
The sport is actually called flag.
Yeah.
It is not football. They use a football, and they have a quarterback, and they're trying to get in the end zone, and everything else is different.
Yeah.
Like, there's no special teams.
Don't get hung up on the name.
Right.
That's my point. Yeah.
And here's what's interesting about the Canadian roster. Like Anthony Auclair, who won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a tight end, played at Laval. He didn't play this weekend. He was banged up. Like, this was the Michael O'Connor Travell Pinto show. And here's what else you're going to notice. Barney, I don't know how much you've seen of this in flag, but you'll have multiple throws on the same play. You might have multiple quarterbacks on the field. Like, it's totally different.
I'll send you
Sandlot. It's
I'll
Sandlot
send you,
football.
At times it can be. So if you go back, Arash, one of the best games to watch. I can maybe try. I brought this up. I think it's the 2022 or 2023, maybe even 2024 World Men's Flag Football Championships. It's the U.S. versus Italy.
Okay.
And Dante just texted in saying the Italians aren't tall, we're just short. But that's two different game plans, two different ways to play the game. The Italians, who a bunch of them are Americans that played NCAA, so tall receivers, some big bodies. Well, that's where I like a tight end that can move. That can be a really good shield out, like basketball. You know, remember, throw it in the paint. But the Americans run what I called an option quarterback. So it's big in touch football as well, where you throw it out, and as long as it's thrown behind, now that guy can throw, but the key is that guy can now run. So the original quarterback, whoever takes the first snap from the center, can't run past the line of scrimmage.
Can he become a receiver?
If you throw it out, yes.
Okay.
So that's where you're going to see teams that they go right behind and then they pitch it back to a guy quick. Well, the Americans always had these really fast quarterbacks that now that guy's live and he's going to pump, and then he'll take off for 40 yards. It's I can talk about this all day.
How many pumps?
You got me.
But I would say this. I know we talked about this before. I think you said over under on NFL players on Team USA.
We have the clip.
I think you said 4.5. Was that the number?
No, I went 4.5 CFLers to play on Team Canada. I went under. Yeah. And I went under. I think you gave me 6.
6.5.
6.5 for NFLers playing. And I said, I'm going to go buy another farm just so I can put both down.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, who knows who's going to play? But, like, to me, I think the number is at least 5 for the NFL. Because wouldn't you want to have 3 receivers and 2 defensive backs at least?
If their game can translate to that.
Yeah, I just watching those clips. I don't know that you can take a guy who's a bump and run corner
Jefferson,
and put him in that. Right?
I think Jefferson.
Throw the ball up in the air and JJ's going to catch it.
Yeah, but then you're going to have some really tall defensive backs from other teams that have been playing flag for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool to watch and interesting.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
I'm a flag football nerd, so I'm going to be fascinated. What's next?
Don't limit it to flag football.
What's next for Canada?
Yeah, so Panama this fall is the Continental Championship. We should go
cover
China.
it.
You know what? We should take the sports cage to Panama City.
Yes,
middle of September.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Gawley can come with. We'll take Smart Investing Solutions, the charter plane that they have.
Brian's charter.
Brian's charter, I like and we can go down there.
We couldn't get to Swift Current. I wonder if they'll approve.
We barely have the budget to go to Notre Dame, 30 miles down the road.
Taco Time can cater the.
Let's not talk taco time because I'm getting hungry again. Okay, let's shift to the CFL. Riders 4-0,
3-0.
3-0, looking to go 4-0 back-to-back seasons. It's been a while since they've done that.
Yeah. 1969, 70 under this guy named Lancaster.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I tell you what, guys, I was listening to the first bit of the conversation before you brought me on. I am in full support of resting Trevor Harris this week. It is the 26th of June, We are just shy of 5 months away from Grey Cup Sunday. What is the need? What is the urgency? And this is how pro sports works. If they're 0-3, the conversation's different.
Yep.
They're 3-0. Nobody in the West really scares you. Winnipeg obviously is Winnipeg, but Edmonton has its warts. I know Calgary's record is what it is. I'm still not worried about him. Nathan Rourke's hurt in BC. Yes. Rest your guy.
I think Chakai. I think that is part of the play. If Rourke doesn't play, which I don't think he's going to play because he has practice full. So if Rourke's not going to play, I think that makes the decision easier to be cautious and maybe rest Harris.
Here's the other thing. It's not like Jake Mayer's an unknown commodity. I'm not saying that. But you also want to get him familiar with this offense, being out there. You don't want Jake Mayer's first start or first outing to be in a pressure situation where, Trevor goes down late in the season. Oh no, here we go. Get his feet wet a little bit. Get him out there.
I like it. I think you're 100% right. I don't want him to be Nick Arbuckle 2.0 going and starting the Grey Cup game because Trevor Harris got hurt in the West Final.
Part of me deep down somewhere in the back of my concussion from a Seabiscuit brain thinks that Tommy Stevens at some point in the next 5 years is going to be able to sling the ball. Why? I don't know why.
Yeah. I haven't seen any practice. But I'll tell you this, and I think this is, to me, football, and we talk so much, obviously, about quarterbacks and skilled guys. Football, to me, is still one at the point of attack. And why is Saskatchewan undefeated? Well, yeah, they've been able to come back and play well in the final 3 minutes. But the Riders are doing what they're doing because they lead the league in sacks, and they've only allowed 2 sacks. And as long as you win the battle at the line of scrimmage, as long as you're able to do this in 3-down football, as the Riders have with their pass rush, you're going to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the name of the game. Win the game at the line of scrimmage the Riders have so far.
I like that. I like that point because that's the thing that goes overlooked with the casual fan. It's like we are not getting sacked.
No.
He's either getting rid of the ball, we're scheming properly, he reads the defense properly, our offensive line is really good at times. Like there's so many things. We are not getting sacked. That's so important.
Their team elements. We're talking about the line, but their team elements. On defense, it's your secondary, it's your linebackers that are taking everything away. Not only those guys getting upfield, like we just saw in that clip, but the quarterback doesn't have time because he's got nowhere to throw. Right?
I wonder. Go ahead, Arash.
No, I was just going to say, look, if you want to look at an epidemic in pro football, both sides of the border, it's offensive line play. It's a real problem. There are not anywhere near enough quality offensive linemen. The fact that the Riders have allowed 2 sacks through 3 games speaks to not only what they're doing up front, but it also speaks to, as Sharkey kind of alluded to, with the scheme, what Mueller's got going on with that offense to put Trevor Harris and put that offense in the best situation. I think there's something to be said for
that. Gary, I knew somebody from Winnipeg was listening. Gary from Winnipeg says Winnipeg Blue Bombers have won the last 12 games against Edmonton. The last Edmonton win was against Winnipeg was 2018.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like in the CFL, first of all, in life, that's forever ago. In the CFL, that's basically like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
No.
It's like 4 or 5 different versions of your organization.
Tracy Ham was quarterback. No, but Winnipeg.
As well a bit.
He's saying Winnipeg's not where I'm looking, and I'm not giving a plug because they're not in that. Where I'm looking, I've still got him at 10.5. He says Winnipeg's now an 11-point favorite for tonight's game. So I'm stupid. I'm stupid for taking the Elks, but I'm going to just do a little bit.
I'm trying to think of how many coaches and GMs the Elks have been through. Meanwhile, Winnipeg's remained the same with O'Shea and Pal Walters that whole run.
Yeah. And not only have they remained the same with that group, but like Caleros has been there, right? They found a weakness, they've replaced it right away with another. Even this Canadian running back they've got that showed up when Oliveira gets hurt. They haven't missed a beat, right? They haven't missed a lick. So that's not just the coach, that's the whole organization being involved.
2018, I think, maybe it was the next year that Andrew Harris arrived. But basically, you've gone from Andrew Harris to Brady Oliveira to
Peterson's his name, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. And
one more thing. Where do you? Okay, so they probably lose tonight. The Elks just stay pat, stay the course, trust the process with Trey Ford.
Well, I deep sigh this because it's a good sports radio conversation, but you made a decision in the off season. So effectively 3.5 weeks ago, even though it was 3.5 months ago, that Trey Ford's your guy. Now, you were the second worst team in the league last year, I think. Bad enough that you bring in a new GM, bad enough that you bring in a new head coach, bad enough that you're starting over and you said, Trey's our guy. Now, how much of this is on the quarterback and how much of this is on everything else? Especially on special teams, which is Mark Killam's bread and butter. I'm just of this belief. If you really believe in Trey Ford, you cannot pull him in the month of June. You have deemed him to be your franchise quarterback. You ship McLeod Bethel-Thompson away. Yeah, Cody Fajardo's come in. But you've made the decision that Trey Ford's our guy. You have to exhaust that to the point where you just say, okay, he's not anymore. And I just don't think on the 26th of June, that's the date after you decided this offseason that he's going to get all the keys for this club.
Isn't he starting this weekend?
Who, Trey Ford?
No.
Cloud Bethel-Thompson is, yeah.
For Montreal?
For Montreal, yeah.
Montreal.
Davis Alexander's out with the hamstring injury.
All right.
How about this real quick? First 9 games of the CFL season, 4 of the league's starting quarterbacks out. Oof. Not good.
Yeah.
Nope. Not good.
All right, buddy. Text me and laugh at me tonight when you're watching that game. Eating your taco time.
Eating the taco time.
I won't talk to you for a week. I'm not here next week.
Nice. Enjoy your time off. Hopefully Sharky's around.
I'm there, brother. I'm there.
Don Hewitt. Sharky and the Professor next Thursday.
The Professor. I like it.
That'll be a wild ride.
We're going to be talking Raptors. I promise you that.
I'll be tuning in from Montana. All right. See you, Arash.
Take care.
See you guys.